Hey, what is up everybody? So, had some escalations with the birds. Not really for the bad part of me, but yeah, they've been moving on and I think I got some plans for the coop. Try to save our chickens and let us have chickens without having to worry about a slaughter. Okay, so thank you for checking out Bluefoot Homestead. Thank you for checking out this video. I do appreciate it. And any support for the channel is always welcome. Yes, it's not Friday the 13th, but it's going to be a warm one today. And it's the only white shirt that I got clean, so Jason it is, right? Anyway, need to go ahead and start filling up some water. Alright, so I got it on a low flow. That'll work for a while I talk at least, but yes, the chickens. So we lost just about all of our chickens, unfortunately. And I put them into a coop that I'm pretty confident in, and so far it's worked. We haven't lost any chickens for the last couple days, but we got word from down the street. We had our neighbors come in. It's an Amish family that moved in next door to us, next door roughly, vaguely, down the street. And I just got a report from them that they have pretty much lost their whole flock. They just moved in maybe 4 months ago or so. So everybody's nice and established, yet something has taken all of their chickens. Now our friends all the way at the end of the street, they haven't lost any yet, but they're on high alert. They're going to be taking some extra precautions, be able to make sure that their chickens stay alive, because they're probably just working down from coop to coop to coop, killing everything, teaching their kids, teaching their little babies for springtime how to go hunt and all that stuff, which is good, being a good parent, probably a good mama at that. But I don't like it when it kills my chickens, so we weren't able to stop it. It was too little too late is basically the situation I was in. So right now I've got everything secured and I need to come up with a new plan, and I think I got a new plan. Let me see how the water's doing. I'm gonna go ahead and get the chickens watered and I'll be back with you. All right, little chickies. Mr. Duck. Okay, so I still have to put something on top of the food bin because, well, they have a tendency to be able to find out how to weasel their way in to get food. I've woken up many times where there's just a fat chicken sitting in the food bin, and yeah, anyway, so I've got extra water for tomorrow or whenever I'm gonna need it that I just went ahead and put on top of the lid, so they shouldn't be able to get in there. We do have a lot of rain coming, so it's put a couple projects on hold, but I moved the food in a little bit, try to keep it as dry as I can. But we're stocked up on food for about 30 chickens, and we only have 5 now, or 4. So we got food for a while. So anyway, about the coops, what am I gonna do about the chicken coops? Let me go ahead and show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit of behind the camera action here. Show you my 3 coops and my plan. So this is the coop that, well, it's appropriate to be wearing a Friday the 13th shirt, I suppose, because it's been an absolute bloodbath in this coop. Now, it hasn't been huge security breaches, but the very little ones that were in there became very dire as well. So this is what I was planning on building out. I was going to build a fenced-in chicken run for about 32 feet out and 15 feet wide. Basically the width of this coop right here and about 32 feet out. So that was the original plan, but kind of started thinking. So I'm going to be a little bit further away from the microphone here because I had to get the camera up above the fence line, but I'm gonna kind of use my finger here. This is coop number 1, folks. Coop number 1 was the original one that we built. We went off of the kind of the same way that Living Traditions built it about 3 years ago. This one used to be right in that area, and I grabbed it with my pickup truck and I yanked it all the way over to here to make these sections that you'll be able to see, these fenced in sections, separated, usable, and I can put multiple coops out. So the base of it and the framework of it got a little bit messed up as I moved it, because it was a little bit of a violent act to move it over into this area. And then I realized it gets really, really muddy here. So the wind's picking up, I'm gonna do my best. So right in front of this coop, in front of the door, right over in this area, really becomes swampy. So we started putting them over here. Coop number 2, this guy. Coop number 2, we started getting losses. So I'll get to that in a second. But this one, it's been really good. We have had very minimal losses. The losses that we had in this coop were juvenile or pullets for the most part. We had a couple different breeds in here, and we had pretty good luck with it. Now, the way it's set up, the tarps don't last very well, as you can see. Let me move down. There you go. As you can see, the tarp, it's old, it's a couple years old. Not expecting it to last, but it didn't really last. But the main thing about this is we want our chickens secure. So what we did is we took them out of that lean-to hay shed and we stuck them over here into this coop. Now, the reason we did it is because, well, we had less loss in this coop, so that was the best choice for the current situation. So far, no more losses. We're keeping our chickens and our one duck that's left. We're keeping them good so far. So far, so good. Unfortunately, I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see, but that house over there is where the predators have gone and taken out their chicken coop. You won't really be able to see it here, but they got a chicken coop on the side of their house there, and they free range everything like I used to do, that I am no longer going to be doing. But everybody here free ranges, and actually just up over here about a mile and a half, there is a rooster breeder. I believe he does show roosters, and he has them in a blue tub like this with a door cut out of it and then leashed to that area, and he has them all over his land. They all have their own house. They can't intermingle or anything like that, but they are wide open to predators. I haven't seen one loss or downturn of the stock of chickens and roosters that he has. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something good, because over here, these guys lost them all. Right here, I lost them all. And I got another friend that's up on that hill in the background that is buckling everything down, getting ready for this shit show of predator slaughter on chickens. So yeah, anyway, this is coop number 1. It's pretty good and secure. Good to go. That's where the chickens are at right now. That is going to be the basis of my plan. So I rambled on just a little bit there. This is our coop number 2, also known as the breast coop. This is where we did most of our breeding. Now, the difference between this coop and that coop is I never put hardware cloth around the base of it. Where's my finger? Right in this area, you know, basically up to about right there. Never put the hardware cloth on. Why did I not put the hardware cloth on? Well, it's sitting up 4 feet off of the ground. I figured that was that level of security that could have let me not spend the money on hardware cloth, because hardware cloth was about $250 a roll. Right now, hardware cloth is $125. So it has come down quite a bit, which makes me really, really happy, because this guy right here is going to be getting the hardware cloth treatment. So this one has a couple of issues. One is the hardware cloth. 2 was the flooring in it. It's not, I used 1/4 inch plywood for the flooring in it. Didn't last very well. I'm gonna go to a 3/4 inch for the flooring. This guy's gonna be getting rebuilt. Also, I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't because the camera is not perfectly level, but it's a leaning. she's leaning. So facing the camera, or looking at it on recording here, the right side of it in the front is down quite a bit. So this gets a little muddy in this area as well. So I'm gonna have to address that. Now back on the back side of it, you know, we kind of walk around here and that's where we get the eggs on the back side. There's a door and all that. That gets pretty muddy, but I laid down this piece of metal right there. It's actually roofing or siding, I think siding. So I laid that down, that makes it a lot better, but I'm gonna have to do something with this post right here and actually secure all of these posts and just make it a little bit better. And then of course we got the infamous death coop. I don't know really what to dub it at this point, but that is gonna get nothing. That's not gonna be anything for now. It might be a little bit of storage or something like that, but this is the focus right here. So I had this crazy idea. I've got these two coops. One's very secure. I've learned why that's secure. One is not so secure. We lost a lot of chickens in there for our fault and nature. I know what I'm dealing with there. And coop number 3, as you can see back there, is out of the game. They're out of the races, not dealing with anything about that. So I got these two coops. So what I am thinking is, hang on one sec. So I'm thinking about disassembling this coop, taking all the walls out, ditch the tarp, take the hardware cloth off, take the chicken wire off, take the cattle panels off, disassemble this whole thing all together and stick it in front of this for the chicken run. Now the other one is a 16 foot. This one I believe is 6 or 8 foot. I still have to measure it, but it's basically gonna bring it out to about right here at this point. Now this one's 4 feet up in the air and the other one's sitting down on the ground. So what I'm gonna do is build a frame out the same height as this, run it all the way out here with the frame, and then just run the cattle panels up over there. Basically gonna get coop number 1, put it on stilts, stick it in front of this one, run hardware cloth around that whole bottom part of it. Then I'm gonna be building the perimeter. Basically completely enclose it except for the entrance to get to this coop right here, which isn't a lot. It's just a door and yay, a chicken door, you know? So I will also attach the two together. I'm not totally sure how I'm gonna do that. I can use the plumber's tape, I can use brackets, I can use wire, screw, nail. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I can attach the two. But that's gonna give me about a 12, 14, 15 foot ceiling that's right up over here all the way down. So I'll be able to walk in, we'll have room, we can build some things, we can make perches, we'll have a bit of room to work with. Now, it is only 6 feet wide, I believe, or 6'4" wide. So it's not very wide, so it's gonna be taller than wider, but that's gonna give us a lot of headroom, a lot of things to work with. And yeah, like my girlfriend said, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right. So I'd like to do it right, at least with the hoop coops. I'm not gonna go build a $20,000 chicken condominium complex, but I'm gonna do it with what I can. I'm trying to save money too, because I don't have a flow of money coming in. The only money that I have coming in is interest off of investments, which isn't a whole lot. So, especially in my 401k, if you've looked at that anytime recently, it's your 401ks are hurting. So yeah, anyway, probably gonna keep the door down on the bottom. I'll have to work that into the base, I guess, of the new chicken run. I'll work that in and then put everything up on top of that. So now I do have, if you can see, what might look like a little bush. I can't even see where it's at. Well, yeah, I think it's right here somewhere. I don't know if that's the wood or not. It's kind of hard to see on the little tiny screen on my camera, but I still have leftover fencing, so I'll be using some of the fencing for things. It's the same fencing as this. It's a 2x4 size mesh on it. I have some chicken wire, I have a little bit of hardware cloth, we have more hardware cloth coming in, and I have one more panel, cattle panel. Now, I've got a 16-foot coop that I'm gonna put up on stilts, and I also have one extra cattle panel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and extend that out. So I'm gonna have a 20-foot run. So I'm gonna have a 20-foot run coming off of this. That's a 6-foot coop. It's going to be a nice big area for everybody to play. Hopefully everybody's going to be happy and play around and have a jolly old time, but mostly hopefully everybody stays alive. That's my plan. I'm also going to run hardware cloth around the base of everything, so if I have any digging predators, which I do have out here, it's going to stop them. I'm going to run 1/4 by 1/4 inch hardware cloth around the whole bottom 4 feet. I'm going to run chicken wire on top of everything else, so there'll be that extra layer of protection, and then I'm going to be running the cattle panel for all the structure of the coop. So we get a lot of wind here. I'm trying to consider this. It's going to be a very tall structure. This thing has been an absolute beast. It hasn't even shook with 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds that we've gotten. So hopefully the other one's going to be okay, especially without a tarp. It's not going to be catching the wind. The wind should be able to flow through it fairly well. The wind's picking up right now. That is what I'm hoping, is the wind's going to flow through it fairly well, but I also have to start thinking ahead of time of how I'm going to be able to secure things. So I'm thinking about mounting either 1 or 2 concrete, just a couple bags of concrete, smooth it off with an eye hook sticking out of it. Well, you know, an eye hook. There we go. You know what an eye hook is. Stick that down into the concrete, and that'll give me a mounting point to where I can put a strap up onto the top of the cattle panels, or whatever's going to be up there. Well, cattle panels. Maybe around the 2 edges of it that have a little thicker gauge, and just give it a couple ratchets to hold the center of it down. Now for that, you gotta worry about tweaking it and stuff like that, but it's a possibility. Or just on the outside of it, put 2 of them in there and just run a strap over the top of it. Now I could use just stakes or something like that, strap it down onto stakes, but stakes don't really seem to work too well in this dirt out here. So that's all stuff that can happen at any point. Of course, I don't want it to blow away, so I want to do it sooner than later, but I really think that it's going to be okay. I'm also going to be putting the main, if you can see those 2 tall poles sticking up out there, I got a 6x6 and a 4x4. I'm going to bury those into the ground for a little bit of extra support. Use that 2 or 4 of those at the 4 corners. That should mount it to the ground a little bit better, plus more weight, and wood is going to be down on the bottom 4 feet, and then it's just going to be mesh on top of that. So it should be good as far as the wind goes. But all right, so that is what I'm looking at right now. That is the plan with the coop. Now today the wind is going to start picking up. We just noticed it. Got some fuzz. It was 2 to 5 degree or 2 to 5 mile an hour winds this morning, and I should have gotten out and gotten a little bit more done, but I was up really late last night kind of playing around with an intro to the videos. If you saw the last video, let me know how you like that. Just to make it a little bit nicer instead of so amateur. I don't mind the amateur part of making these videos, but anyway, completely sidetracked. The wind is picking up. It's going to pick up substantially until Saturday or Sunday or so. So when it comes to carrying a 3/4 inch piece of plywood in 30 mile an hour winds, if you've done it, you know, I don't need to explain it, but you basically turn into a kite and you will strain every single muscle in your body trying to keep that thing under control. So especially transporting it and stuff like that. I don't know if I want to deal with the wood part of it yet. I might get some of the 2x6s, go do a run for that. I got some other supplies to pick up at the box store, but you know, if we run into town, try to make it worth it. But yeah, anyway, I should be getting under construction on this thing here shortly, sooner than later, because I'd like to have a nice nice place for the chickens to live out their lives. Now, as far as the chickens go, we ordered meat chickens. We ordered dual purpose chickens. We were going with the Jersey Giants. I forgot if we got black or white, but we got Jersey Giants ordered through Cackle Hatchery. That's a great place if you're in the Ozarks. Everybody knows it, but they do shipping as well. I have no affiliation with them or anything like that. But if you're watching, Cackle, I'll take a paycheck. I could use it. Yeah, anyway, we got our Jersey Giants ordered. We're going to try those. Still going to have some breasts left. We're going with With the Jersey Giants, we are going with 15 hens, 3 roosters. I wanted 3 roosters to basically be able to pick the best one. So I'm definitely going to keep 2. I might even keep 3 because, well, look what happened. I just had 2. I had 1 for backup, 1 for main breeding. Lost everybody. So yeah, maybe I'll just keep all 3. I don't know. It's a little overpowering for the chickens. They might be overmated or something. Anyway, I'm rambling. Want to let you guys know what's going on with the chickens. They've moved on. Unfortunately, to the demise of my neighbor's chickens, took their whole flock, and they're going to be moving down the road. So the problem seems to be chilled out right now. Got a plan to build a bigger, better coop, build back better. Hey, Biden got something out of Biden, right? Gonna build it back better, disassemble that one completely, put it together, and I'm gonna quit rambling because I'm just going on and on. Thank you for watching. Thanks for checking out this video. I do appreciate it. And until next time, I'll talk to you then. Peace.